like, yeah, oh, this team that can't score goals, well, the one who scored the most in a season out of all of the players that are at this club, we're just keeping him out of the squad. Why? They've never really come out and said why. So I don't think anybody comes out of it looking good, to be honest. Would I be happy to see him in the squad? No, not really. Because again, I don't think anybody comes out of this looking good. I think if United could sell him, they would. They obviously can't. But then, yeah, there's a decision got to be made now. And I think everyone looks weak all around. You can't sell him for peanuts. No, you can't sell him for peanuts. That's right. Travis says Garnacho only goes for big dollars if he was in Italy and we were looking to buy him. Teams would want 80 million plus. Yeah, but people know the situation that you're in. Bison M. Payne says, it's really sickening that we're about to sell one of our most talented players. What happens within 2 years? We need a winger and have to spend 70 million to buy another average winger. Well, yeah, maybe you do need a winger, maybe you don't. I think selling Garnacho for 60 million with what it gets you in terms of PSR is not the worst move I've ever heard, to be honest. It's about right that we're selling him for that sort of money when you see the likes of Dylan Levitt, Ethan Laird went for like less than £1 million each. It's a fucking travesty. David says, heard some worrying rumours regarding Rashford. Hope they aren't true. Fresh start seems best for everyone. Here's the thing. I absolutely believe if Rashford went elsewhere, whether that's Barcelona or Italy, I think he would be a success. And we will get panned for selling him because people will be like, well, look, there you go. Another player's gone and been successful, not at Manchester United. But I also believe that if he doesn't go, he would not recapture any level of form at Manchester United. So since the summer, even when he was playing well this season, and people forget that, is he not still our leading scorer? Like, considering he's been literally out of the team for over 2 months. I was saying in the summer I would have sold him. Because I don't believe he's going to recapture his form here. And that was under Ten Hag. It's not changed under Amorim. I just don't believe in it. So I would sell him on. I think it'd be best for him. I think it'd be best for the club. Ant says, might be unpopular, but I think fresh blood coming in improves our ability floor, but more improves the mentality in the dressing room. I think that's a big one. Buffy says, whisper it, Jadon Sancho. What are we whispering here? Are we whispering about... I don't know. What are we whispering about Sancho? Have I seen the latest Athletic article on United's financials? No, not yet. Do I think Amorim regrets coming to us? Probably on some level. Frank says PSR finishes in the summer. Is selling homegrown kids still beneficial under the new system? I actually don't know what the new system is. Box says maybe it's time the club looks at the scouting department and identifies why players that are clear benefits for United are not being considered. That's what I kind of hope. Oh, we're whispering that is shite. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. He wasn't. But he is. Travis says, which youth players do I think suit the Amorim system? I think Ibrahimov might suit it very well as a bit of a Wayne Rooney style player. Obviously not level in terms of ability, but style of player. I think there's a few that might suit it, but obviously there's a difference between playing kids football. Like people that are crying out for Obi Martin, you got to see him against adults. Simple as that. Elle says, is Amorim the man no matter what? No, nobody's the man no matter what. But we have to give him time and funds to see if he is the man. You can't judge him by a squad that's obviously not fit for purpose. Dr. Ill says, Garnacho would be our biggest sale since CR7. Why are we shite at selling? We are buyers. We are shit at selling. We're fucking awful at selling. And it's one of the reasons that we find ourselves in this mess that we're in right now. Because for decades, we've been shit at selling. Simple as that. The value that we let some of our players go. Now, back in the day, that when we allowed people to leave, it was because they had good service for United. So United never tried to charge a fee because they was happy with the service that player gave us. They hit the pinnacle, they won titles here, and we said, thank you very much. There's a handshake. Go and get yourself paid elsewhere. That was what happened with Nicky Butt. That's what happened with Phil Neville. That kind of what happened with Dimitar Berbatov, Peter Schmeichel. All of these players got to leave and go and get big money elsewhere because United didn't want a fee for them. When there was players around the league that was going for way more, that was not close to those players. Now, for whatever reason, that's continued, and United just seemed to allow some of our academy players, like fucking Ryan Brewster, going for 20 million at a time when United was selling academy players for 200 grand. How did Zidane Iqbal go for what he went for? How did Ethan Laird go for what he went for? How did Dylan Levitt go for what he went for? How did Joe Rothwell's back in the Premier League with Bournemouth? United let him go for fucking free. Do you know what I mean? Like, Johnny Evans onwards. Dog shit. Lee says, think Beckham is still in our top 10 fees received ever. The guy left 21 years ago before transfer fees blew up. Tells you everything. And even when we sold David Beckham, right? We sold him cheap because Fergie wanted shut of him. Jordan Ibe, 15 million. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's a fucking joke. Serenity says, PSR should have a rule of some kind where using homegrown players is rewarded in leeway in PSR. Do you know what? The sugar daddy era is what's caused all of this. Whether it's nation states, maybe just ban nation states owning football clubs. That'd probably be a fucking right good start for it, because the inflation that you've seen in terms of pricing and all, but do you know what? Maybe that wouldn't work either. That probably wouldn't work either, because then you'd just see everyone going to Saudi. So I don't know. I was just talking without really thinking about it there. Ignore me. Darren says, why are we paying 40 million for an unknown? Well, he's only unknown to you. We're not paying 40 million for him as well. They want 40 million for him. Helly says, my biggest regret was Giuseppe Rossi. What did he go for? We let Gomez go for free. You know what I mean? Yeah, we did. And that was a fucking scandal there and then, wasn't it? What's the German model? Is it 51%? No, the German ownership model is 50 plus 1. So if there is 100 shares, it would be 50 plus 1, which means 51%. Obviously, if there's 1 million shares, it would be 500,001 share. So it's 50% plus 1. So what it means is that the fans always have the majority. They could have said it 51%, but it's 50 plus 1. Hence why the Stretford Paddock ones, which I haven't got the shirts in there anymore. The Stretford Paddock one is 100 plus none, because we're 100% fan owned and we always will be. But the German model is 50 plus 1. Bayern Munich are actually 75% owned by the fans. 25% is owned by, I think it's Audi, Adidas, and Allianz. Is like they own like 8% each, and then the fans own 75%. Yeah. Step says Pogba, let him go on a free, 90 million buyback, and then let him go on a free again. Honestly, how bad do you think, like, let's say you're at university doing business. If you went to university and did business and you said, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell this asset. All right, what are you going to sell it for? Oh, fucking nothing. Right? Then I'm going to buy it back for a world record fee. Cool. Like it. And then you're going to build a team around him. No. Then we're going to let him go for free. Right. Okay. Fucking dumb, right? Bobby Ninefinger says, simple solution our woes. Sell Garnacho, get Dorgu, Gomez, and a striker. What are we talking about at this point? Don't know. There's a university that studies Manchester United. I bet that's a fucking depressing place to be. Boonu says, let's just state facts. The club was mismanaged from top to bottom, and that's why we are in a mess. Ineos did a complete review and have a new approach. Give it time. It does require time. Our Academy pure profit rule incentivizes academy investment. It does, doesn't it? Because of the desire to sell them for high values. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Stephen123 says, does fan-owned football mean I can get a haircut? How does it work with Paddock? Is there free coffees for everyone that is left-handed at half time? I need a pen, but I'm going to ask Dennis Irwin. I don't know what to do with that comment.